We should pause on the bowl conversation just for a second.
Aww.
And we should talk about the transfer portal. Today was opening day of transfer portal season. And boy, was it busy. The surprise right out of the gate. Were you guys surprised when you saw Kyle McCord's name?
Nope.
Really?
A little. Because, I mean, I didn't think he played great this year, but at the same time, you don't expect the starting quarterback of a team that went 11-1, who knows, who's an underclassman to leave.
Yeah.
And obviously, like Borky said earlier, it's not all his decision.
No.
Yeah. I mean, when you have those weapons in that offense and you look as bad as he did, and it's not really fair, I get it, but Michigan was the only game on Ohio State's schedule this year. That was it. None of the 11 games mattered to those people. And when he looked as bad as he did with the weapons that he had in that loss to Michigan, I mean, it's squarely on his shoulders. They lost because of quarterback play. Every other position on the field should have beaten Michigan that day. They're going to find somebody else if that's the case at a place like that.
There are currently, how many? Good grief. There are currently 80 quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Now, not all 80 are created alike. But in terms of the ranking, the number one ranked transfer portal quarterback is Dylan Gabriel, who announced earlier today that he is officially leaving Oklahoma. On3 estimates his NIL value at $1.2 million. And where is he going to be? State has to be the favorite, right?
I don't know if favorite is the right word, but they're in the mix. They're certainly going to be in the mix. They have the NIL money. They have the connections with Jeff Lebby, who he's never played for a different coach. He's at Central Florida with Lebby. He was going to go to Ole Miss with Lebby. And then when Lebby goes to Oklahoma, he leaves UCLA to go reconnect with Lebby. So you have that. But the other school involves Oregon. And if it is an NIL deal, I mean, like I said, it's been saying, State's in a good spot, NIL-wise, but they're not where Oregon is. And if Oregon wants to overpay and get him, they can, and they will.
And USC also might get into the mix. Guys like Dylan Gabriel are fascinating to me, right? Because when Matt Rule was talking about seven-figure quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel's one of those. And I know there's a debate about his NFL prospects or whatever. That doesn't matter. He's thrown for almost 15,000 yards in his college football career. That is a guy that if you're a team that needs a quarterback, you know exactly what he's capable of. You have a 4-year sample size of great quarterback play at the college level. And so what State might have to weigh here is not how much he's worth. It's what percentage of your budget he's worth. You know what I mean? It's not if he's worth $1 million, you give him $1 million, because $1 million to you is not the same to USC. And so let's pretend for a second like Lincoln Riley misses on Cam Ward for whatever reason and wants Dylan Gabriel. And if money is the difference, when do you have to call it quits? When do you decide, really want this kid, but that's a little too much? But I mean, it makes a ton of sense. He knows the system, all that. I mean, if I'm Mississippi State in the collective, a 7-figure amount of money for 1 year to one guy is a lot. That is a lot. But it's a quarterback who has run this system beautifully.
It's the most important position in all of sports.
He's run it beautifully.
That's what you raise the money for.
Yeah.
This is what you raise the money for. Be able to go out and win a battle for a big-time prospect.
Some of the
if
other
the coach says
quarterbacks,
that's the guy I want, you kind of have to say, okay, that's the money we'll spend then.
some of the other quarterbacks in the portal, Riley Leonard leaving Duke. The expectation is Notre Dame, although there's some that think Auburn could be in the mix for Riley Leonard. Will Howard from Kansas State, Cam Ward from Washington State, Kyle McCord announced today from Ohio State. Will be interesting to see where he ends up. DJ Uiagalelei will go to his third school, leaving Oregon State. Tyler
Possibly
Van Dyke,
the NFL with him. That's one of those guys that may just end up going to the league if he gets the right return.
Okay. Tyler Van Dyke leaving Miami. Brock Vandegrift, the former five-star out of high school, leaving Georgia, did not win the job there.
A lot of talk about Kentucky there early on.
Taylon Green leaving Boise State. Will Rogers expected to go to the University of Washington.
Well, got a crystal ball for it. I don't know that we'd go so far as to expect it, but that's where somebody has predicted him to go.
Okay. Well,
that's an interesting choice.
It is. They're going to have an open job.
Yeah.
Post Michael Penix. Worked out pretty well for Dylan Johnson. Sam Leavitt leaving Michigan State. Max Johnson has already affirmed that he is going to North Carolina. Former Texas A&M quarterback who is a former LSU quarterback. A.J. Swan from Vanderbilt. Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina.
Visited NC State, I believe, this weekend, did McCall?
Okay. Max Brosmer. Where is that? What school is that? Leaving New Hampshire to go to Minnesota. Okay.
Loves the cold.
Blake Shapen, former starter at Baylor. Caton Hauser leaving Michigan State. Bryson Barnes leaving Utah. Tyler Shuck, the former starter at Texas Tech. Apparently down to Louisville and UCF. Hank Bachmeier will be on his third school. He's gone from Boise State to Louisiana Tech to somewhere.
Vanderbilt, I think, is where he's visiting this weekend.
Okay.
With a wide receiver, bringing a wide receiver, a teammate with him on that visit.
Ken Seals, a Vanderbilt quarterback that has hit the road. Max Brown, who started the last couple of games for Florida, is in the portal. Drew Pine, the former Notre Dame quarterback who went to Arizona State. That did not work out. Gary Bohannon, Baylor to USF on the road again. Spencer Petras leaving Iowa, headed to Utah State. Good grief, there are a lot of names in this portal.
We get this message. You said, yeah, but 7 figures on a one-year guy, that money would go a long way on getting a few decent high school stars that have high ceilings. Understandably so. Like, your logic is sound. Here's my counter. Your high school stars might not translate to college. 5 stars are essentially a 50% hit rate. That's 5 stars. And it's the best. 4 stars are about 20, 3 stars are about 5 in terms of becoming NFL prospects. You know exactly what Dylan Gabriel can do at that position. It's a different conversation. Those high school guys may never work out, may never play for you, may hit the portal again next year.